Welcome back to episode 2 of Learning Filmmaking through Game Design. Today we are looking at the game Rocket League, which if you don't know is basically remote control cars playing soccer. So what I wanted to talk about today was using the field of view of your camera to give a perception of speed. So I'm not actually in a game right now, but just in the kind of free play mode. Disclaimer, I suck at this game. But we're gonna look at here. So you drive around, right? You can see where the camera's at. But what happens when I turbo boost and get up to a certain speed? You see that little jump in the camera where it widens, and then if I slow down, it goes back to normal. Boom, there it is. Just got to that speed where it widens and then it gets narrower. So what's happening here is the game designers are actually changing the field of view of the camera. So right now I have it set to like 110 degrees, which on a full frame camera would be equivalent of about a 12mm lens. So imagine there's a floating camera behind the car and it's at 12mm. Well, when I hit a certain speed, that field of view is actually widening. It's like they're zooming out on the camera to like an 8 or 10mm field of view or lens. And the reason for that is if you're ever in a moving vehicle and you focus on something in the distance, you're going to turn really slowly as it approaches you. And then you're going to start turning faster and faster until it passes by you when it's moving the fastest. So the perception of speed in relation to an item approaching you increases as it gets closer. I don't know all the technical, mathematical, whatever, but that's the basics of it. So in a video game, you'll see this all the time in video games, whether your character is sprinting or using a turbo or doing something to make them go faster than normal. The designers are going to widen that field of view so that you see more of that faster movement as items move past you. As you widen your field of view, you see more of that quick movement past you. So this could be useful in filmmaking if you're ever if you ever have a camera in a car and you want to make it look really fast, or if you're doing a POV of a character running, or you're dollying through the woods, or whatever it is. If you use a wider lens, if you use a wider field of view, you're going to get a greater perception of speed. Interestingly enough, this only works if the camera is itself moving. If you ever have a stationary camera and you're panning along and following something, you're actually going to want to use a tighter lens or a smaller field of view to get a greater perception of speed, because you get more parallax that way. So the items between you and the camera, between the camera and the object and behind the object are going to look like they're moving faster in the opposite direction if you zoom in and tighten the field of view. So that was it. It's a pretty short episode today, but I just wanted to talk about using the field of view on your camera to give a greater perception of speed. I hope this has been useful to you. If it has, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Stay sharp.